6 secrets lie beneath one of the most iconic cars ever built. Hidden power figures, banned imports, rewritten rulebooks, international controversy. Each reveals the same truth. The Skyline GT-R was engineered to dominate at any cost. Beginning with number 6. In 6th place, the Nissan Skyline GT-R became a phantom in the United States, not through performance, but by law. Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standards, specifically FMVSS 101 for airbags and FMVSS 108 for headlamps, rendered the R32, R33, and R34 models non-compliant for import after 1990. The EPA FTP75 emissions test posed another barrier, as the RB26DETT's turbocharged exhaust consistently failed to meet NOx limits without major modification. In 1994, the Bennett auto case set a precedent when 3 R32 GT-Rs were seized by U.S. Customs, and the court cited DOT and EPA statutes as grounds for forfeiture. For decades, the only legal path was the 25-year rule, codified in 49 CFR Section 543.22, allowing import of vehicles older than a quarter century, unmodified. The first legal R32 finally cleared U.S. Customs in 2014, igniting a collector frenzy and cementing the GT-R's status as a forbidden legend. Decades of legal suppression only deepened the car's myth, setting the stage for even greater controversy. In 5th place, the Skyline GT-R didn't just win races, it forced the rulebook itself to change. After a string of dominant seasons, racing authorities launched a coordinated crackdown. In 1991, the FIA issued a technical bulletin mandating a 30-kilogram weight increase for turbocharged cars like the GT-R and capped boost pressure at 1.6 bar. The following year, a 30mm air restrictor was imposed, slashing peak power by roughly 15%. In Japan, the JAF introduced an additional intake choke, further limiting the RB26DET's breathing. In Australia, CAMS, facing mounting pressure from rival teams, released Technical Bulletin No. 12, 1992, setting a 450 Newton-meter torque cap and enforcing a mandatory 2-second pit stop penalty for cars exceeding that limit. According to an internal Gibson Motorsport memo from mid-1993, these combined changes cost the GT-R an estimated 0.7 seconds per lap, enough to threaten its competitive edge. The legacy of these amendments is clear. When engineering outpaces the rulebook, the rules adapt to cage the machine. The GT-R became the car that forced the world's most powerful motorsport bodies to act. In the 4th place, the Skyline GT-R's transformation into Godzilla began with a single headline. On October 12, 1990, the Sydney Morning Herald declared Nissan's Godzilla roars at Bathurst, capturing the shockwave as the R32 stormed onto Australian soil. The nickname stuck, fueled by a relentless campaign in the Australian Touring Car Championship, where Mark Skaife and Jim Richards piloted the GT-R to 7 major wins and 12 podiums between 1990 and 1993. At Bathurst, the GT-R's all-wheel drive grip and turbocharged power left V8 rivals scrambling, while the crowd's chants of Godzilla echoed through the grandstands. Skaife later recalled that the moment the crowd chanted Godzilla, he knew the car had become a cultural force. Richards called the name a double-edged sword. It terrified opponents, but also put a target on our backs. The legend did not stay trackside. A 1993 Car Australia fan poll crowned the GT-R the most feared race car, and Nissan's Australian sales jumped by 12% during the Godzilla era. The myth grew larger than any rulebook, turning a racing machine into a pop culture icon and setting the stage for the technical secrets behind its domination. In 3rd place, the ATTESA ETS all-wheel drive system delivered a mechanical advantage that rivals could only envy. While most saw the R32 GT-R's power figures, the real secret lay beneath the floor pan. A trio of sensors monitoring wheel speed and engine torque feeding data to an electronic control unit that could shift up to 50% of torque to the front wheels in milliseconds. Under normal driving, all power stayed at the rear, but in the heat of battle, like the 1990 Sandown race, telemetry showed the system sending 28% of torque to the front axle, delivering a 0.6-second sector gain over rear-wheel drive competitors. Nissan's own service manual diagrams detail the hydraulic clutch actuation and torque tables, revealing how ATTESA ETS shaved between 0.4 and 0.7 seconds per lap in Group A competition. Fred Gibson, team principal, admitted in a 1992 debrief that this invisible edge was impossible to match with traditional setups. The ATTESA system did not just keep the GT-R glued to the tarmac, it quietly redefined what was possible in touring car racing. In second place, the RB26 DETT engine stands at the heart of one of the GT-R's most enduring myths. Nissan's brochures for the R32, R33, and R34 GT-Rs all declared a strict 280 PS output, an official figure repeated in every press release and showroom. But factory engineering sheets from the early 1990s reveal a different story. Internal dyno tests routinely logged 310 PS at the crank, with a stock ECU detuned to meet the so-called limit. Independent tuners went further. HKS published a 322 PS result on an untouched RB26, while Tomei's 1992 dyno session recorded 330 PS, and later tests edged even higher. This discrepancy wasn't an accident. In 1989, the Japan Automobile Manufacturers Association imposed a voluntary cap, warning that any claim above 280 PS would trigger government scrutiny and stricter emissions checks. Nissan's own powertrain chief, Hiroshi Nakajima, later admitted the engine was deliberately held back by ECU programming and a 1.45 bar boost ceiling. The real output, hidden behind a regulatory mask, fueled a generation of underground tuners and cemented the RB26's reputation as a sleeping giant, one whose true strength was always an open secret among those who dared to look beyond the badge. And finally, in first place, the Skyline GT-R's legend begins not with myth, but with a record that rewrote Japanese motorsport. On May 3, 1969, KPGC-10, known as the Hakosuka, debuted at Fuji Speedway and won its very first race. Over the next 3 years, this machine amassed 52 official victories, including a streak of 29 consecutive Works Team wins, a figure unmatched in Japanese touring car history. The weapon behind this dominance was the S20 engine, a 2-liter DOHC straight-six, with an 84mm bore and a 71.5mm stroke, capable of 230 PS at 8,400 revolutions per minute after the switch to fuel injection. Homologation required roughly 1,400 chassis to be built, each engineered for the track as much as the street. Chief engineer Shinichiro Sakurai put it plainly at the 1970 Tokyo Motor Show. He said that the GT-R was conceived as a pure racing machine and that Nissan pushed the S20 beyond its road car origins while staying within the 2-liter class limits. Even as critics pointed to rules favoring larger displacement, the GT-R's relentless performance forced rivals to chase its shadow. The Hakosuka didn't just win, it set the template for every rule-bending, regulation-pushing GT-R that followed, anchoring a legacy built on outsmarting the system from day one. Across all 6 secrets, one pattern stands out. The Skyline GT-R was not just engineered for speed, it was engineered to disrupt. Its legend forced the world to redefine what fair competition means. Which secret changed your view? Let us know below.